Hello and welcome back to our Carson Colorado Engine 18 channel. Today we look at lapping of valves. Valves are critical to the safe operation of steam locomotives. They control the flow of water and steam and thus are exposed to water and steam, which may corrode them. During each inspection cycle, we look at valves and repair and/or lap them to assure proper functionality. Dave and Chris will discuss one special and very important valve. Continue watching.
This is actually the throttle on number 18.
What did Dave just call it? The throttle? Let me explain what the throttle valve is and why it is critical using a simplified graphic approach. To generate steam, we need water and a heat source. Engine 18 is oil-fired. The water is heated with the hot gases passing through the flue pipes. When sufficient steam has been built up, the locomotive can go. But how? This is where the throttle valve comes in. By the way, it lives in the steam dome. The engineer has a throttle lever which operates the throttle valve. This valve controls how much steam goes to the cylinders, which then transform the steam power into motive power. If this valve malfunctions, the locomotive either wouldn't go because there is no steam going to the cylinders, or it could become a runaway train because the engineer is not able to shut off the supply of steam to the cylinders. Okay, let's have a look and go back to the inspections that we are doing at engine 18 and see how it's going.
So this is what we're taking out today. This is the throttle assembly. I've already taken the top part out. Now I'm slowly taking everything out of here.
Yes, putting them all back in 5 years.
Here's what keeps the steam from leaking. That's the throttle.
Okay.
Well, this piece has got a bolt in the middle.
Yeah.
When you pull the big handle, the throttle, it has like an L-shaped thing and it lifts this up and down.
Oh, okay.
And it sits.
And so that sits up in there?
Yeah. And this is the way it assembles.
So you are still lapping the valve?
Yes.
Okay.
A new T-tool for bumping.
Aren't you done yet?
What in the hell are you doing?
Well, I'm putting the lapping compound onto this seat, which
Okay.
is going to ride this part of the seat.
Right?
You can see after I'd just completed what I was doing, I was lapping here.
Right.
You see where it's just
Oh,
gray
beautiful. Yeah.
and not shiny.
Right.
This became shiny because this was being lubed with just oil while the lapping compound was working on this seat.
So this is just riding and this is actually being cut at
And
the top.
right now I am reversing it. I'm going to oil lube this one.
Right.
So we can grind this one down even more. And you can see the telltale lines. As I go to start to do this, you will see how I'm bumping it.
Right.
But
Right.
by what George was telling me I should be bumping it as I'm lapping it. And these lines are now going away and we're ending up with a beautiful smooth surface.
Perfect.
So I'm going to keep putting my lapping compound in here so I can
While
start
you're
the
doing
process.
that, I'm going to explain what this is. This is actually the throttle on number 18. And Chris, I guarantee, has got 50 hours in lapping this there. This is very important because if this does not seal, so the way this throttle works is it comes up and down in these seats right here.
Hold on, boss, right here. Let me cover this, and we put the valve into the position. Go ahead, boss.
So this has a device that's hooked through the throttle inside the cab out to a linkage that moves this piece up and down. And the very important part of this is if this leaks in any way, your locomotive will just take off and start running on its own. So this is a very, very important thing that Chris is doing here.
It does have to seal on both.
Exactly.
Of these.
Right. So the steam actually comes from the boiler, which is out here, down this tube, and then up forward to the steam cylinder. So this is what you do for, I don't know, 30 or 40 hours, I think, Chris.
It had a lot of damage in it. It had a lot of steam erosion in the seats. We're down to one last little piece. We're trying to get at least 60% of the valve seat. So as we do this, we do one rep and bump it. When we bump it, those little grooves that you've seen are slowly wearing out, and as we're doing the lapping motion. So with that said, I've been in one position since I have started this. We changed the position so we don't start a pattern on the seat.
I see. Repetition.
And again, change the position of the seat. So we don't create a pattern on the
Perfect.
sealing edge of that seat.
Thank you, Mr. Dreyer. I appreciate that. That's a very good lesson on anyone that ever wants to lap a throttle on a steam locomotive.
So with this, before we end, as we work the seat, the bottom of these seats, we've had to take away metal so we do not have a lip that holds the valve up out of its operating position. So more than just lapping, we have to be tentative on anything that is going to impede its full motion travel.
I like that. Man, you are one lapper.
I'm laughing.
Thank you, Chris.
So, see how there's that hole in the valve stem, right? And there's the notch.
Right.
You put some baling wire in there or a small welding rod, and then you put it in there and you lock that. And that's how, because otherwise if you were trying to lap it, it would just spin.
Then there's one important thing after that. Move the pin before assembly.
The other trick you can do is you can separate this half from here because this is replaceable.
Okay.
You put a little copper penny in there, push it while you're lapping. Again, you got to remember to take your penny out.
Right. That's important.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's another trick you can do. But yeah, I'll have you go ahead and run the stem all the way out, clean the threads real good, look inside here, make sure the threads are solid inside the bonnet, and then I'll have you, take the packing gland nut off, dig out the old packing, and then you can take this part to the wire wheel, and same with this, and get it polished up.
Okay.
Just go real light on the threads, obviously, because they're brass.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we'll go back together when you're ready. We'll use lots of copper anti-seize, and we'll get this packed in here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
This is a cylinder cock. You know how in all the movies before the train takes off from the station it blows a whole bunch of steam out of the side and whoosh, 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 and then they get underway? That's the valve that is one on each end of the to let steam pass through and condensate blow out. So you always open these valves
to bleed them out.
Let the water blow out.
Yeah.
And let some steam blow through and warm up the cylinder, and then you shut them off when you're running.
And you take off.
So that's what that valve is. It's basically like a check valve. It won't let anything out unless yeah. And that rod has those angles, so when it's in one position, this will be down, and when you move it to another position, it lifts that up.
So
Oh, that
Lift it
yeah.
up or
That-
let it fall.
Oh, so
that dumps the water. That
and then it
seals
closes it. That's pretty ingenious.
Pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Lapping of valves. Okay.
Lapping the valves, and you can see that gray area, that's the seat after doing the lapping.
Ah,
And then the female part of the seat is down here, and it's got a good surface too. Now I'm just cleaning up all this so we can reassemble.
Have you tested it lately? Are you happy?
I'm very happy every time I look at it and see the results.
The throttle is actually up in the steam dome right there. Now we've got a gauge hooked on that now because we've been doing some pressure checking with the plugs and all to make sure we don't have any leaks. But that's where it is, and it's down in there a good 3 feet,
About
maybe
in
4
this
feet. Yeah.
area
Yeah.
underneath that dome.
Yeah.
And it's bolted to the dry pipe. And again, this is the piece that I've been doing the lapping on the steam dome. But it's right about in here.
Yeah. Way
Way
down
deep
in the
inside.
belly of the beast.